Guys, when I came across this listing, I was blown away. This Toronto condo unit has been attempting to sell for 4 straight years, almost going on 5 years, and it's been listed 10 plus times as recently as October 2024, and this has left me completely dumbfounded, to be very frank with you. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about a listing for sale, a 3-bedroom, 2-washroom in 215 Queen Street West, which we'll go through in a short second, that keeps popping up for sale at different price points, and it's really hard to understand the strategy with this one. Unit belongs to the Smart House Condos in 215 Queen Street West. You've undoubtedly seen this building if you've ever been on Queen Street West, or maybe you've looked for Toronto condos for rent, for sale, whatever the case is, you've come across it. And let me quickly give you some brief thoughts on the building. First and foremost, the building, I like the architecture. The building has really good rental yields per square foot, and the location is absolutely outstanding. I would probably have to say it's one of the best located buildings in the entire city. People who make up the building, whether it's tenants or owners, end up being very high level, professional and dignified people. Of course, you have your students and Airbnbs, but for the most part, most of the residents, whether owners or tenants, work in the hospitals just down University, close to the building, or work in UFT. And that's where really the positives of the building end. Not to say the rest is negative, it's more of a mixed bag. The unit sizes are way too small. It's not managed greatly. It could definitely do with some better management. And it's just the units are very miniature in size. So this building, generally speaking, in my professional opinion, is more so intended for investors. It's very investor friendly, but not so end user friendly. Of course, there are exceptions. If you're not too keen on size and you want to prioritize primacy of location above all else, then this building might be a good fit to look for. But for most end user clients of mine, when I work with them, I generally tend to stay away from this building. It's more investor friendly. Now that we've got the background of the building out of the way, there is a specific unit for sale in this building, a 3-bed, 2-wash that has been on sale for a long time. And which unit are we talking about? We are talking about this unit in specific, unit 1405, that was most recently listed in October for around $879,000. Stayed on market 92 days, and it's now an expired listing. And you might say, Sam, what is so special about this? What's so alarming? What's so shocking? Well, take a look at this. This is the listing history on condos.ca. I mean, guys, just look. When you think it's going to end, it doesn't end. It keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. Cumulatively, this unit has been listed for sale, by my count, 15 times in the last 4 years. First, they listed it in August of 2020 for around $1,075,000. Keep in mind, this unit is 742 square feet. That is an asking price per square foot of $1,400 plus. This is not Yorkville. This is not one of the best builders and one of the best buildings. Some of the best buildings by waterfront, some of the best buildings in King West. It's just a, once again, depending on what type of buyer we're talking about, okay to great option for some buyers. Then after multiple attempts to lease it, and you guys can see the terminated, that means the listing was terminated because there was no successful transaction to come of it. They listed it for $999,000 in October 2020 twice. Then in December of 2020, they listed it for $949,000. July 2021, $1,098,000. Then again in August of 2021, $999,000. I mean, I can keep going. You guys can look it up for yourself. It's just all over the place pricing, to the point where in most recent memory, it was listed for $898,000, $878,000, then $799,000. And then in November of 2023, it was listed for $888,000. Once again, this listing of $879,000. Before we go along and I give you a breakdown of the unit itself and tell you why I think this is happening, what sort of explanations I can think of. If you have any buying, selling, or leasing inquiries, you already know what to do. My contact information is in the description box. I've been lucky and happy enough to meet a lot of lovely clients from this channel, so feel free to get in touch with me with any of your buying, selling, or leasing inquiries. Book a call with me with the link in the description. But now, why is this happening? Before we take a look at the unit and the pictures, let me give you a couple of reasons why I think this might be happening. First and foremost, the simplest explanation is that the seller is maybe, to put it in polite terms, unrealistic. And other terms we can put, obviously this is not what I'm saying, right? Other people can surmise that maybe they might be out of their mind and confused. Obviously that's not what I'm saying, just to be clear. I'm saying other people can surmise that this person is absolutely bonkers, but once again, that's not what I'm saying. That's the simplest explanation. Really, never attribute anything, and this is a general philosophy of mine, never attribute anything to intention when you can attribute it to ignorance or incompetence. But if there is some intentionality behind this, then this leads me to think that it's some sort of scheme, some sort of shady scheme where it is of net benefit for the owner to have this for sale, to maybe avoid some sort of judgment or maybe some financial tax implications, but I can't even think of what that might be. Perhaps having it listed is some sort of plan for personal reasons, to have an excuse for some personal things. But once again, this is all conjecture. It's either incompetence or it's extremely fishy and there's some intentionality behind it for a wider, larger purpose. And honestly, I'm kind of torn, but I'm more prone to think that it might be just pure, once again, as some would say, incompetence. Let's take a look at the photos of the unit. Now, this is the photos of the hallway. These are not professional photos. And this is being listed, by the way, by multiple agents here. This owner has probably gone through multiple agencies and brokerages and brokers. And this is regular for an 05 layout. It is one of these kitchens where it's like a hallway kitchen. It has plenty of floor to ceiling windows. If we get into it, it has floor to ceiling windows, but it is somewhat obstructed in terms of view. As you guys can see, the photos of the latest iteration of the listing does not do it any favors. And this is actually rare for this building, believe it or not. A stacked washer and dryer is rare for this building. Most units in this building, 215 Queen Street West, actually have a 2-in-1 washer and dryer, especially the studios and the very junior 1-beds. And keep in mind, this is a 3-bedroom in 742 square feet, right? So the bedrooms are quite small. And this is one of the bedrooms that has this large column. And the layout is, I would probably have to say, quite unfortunate in terms of the 742 square feet we're talking about. And this building has this iconic red glass, which I like. I think it makes it look different and it adds to the variety in the city. And that's how the unit presented in the most recent iteration. But if we look at more professional photography, we can see the unit a bit better, I guess, in terms of the color and the space and the layout. And as unpalatable as that unit might be in terms of layout to a lot of people, because it's 3 bedrooms, 742 square feet, 2 washrooms, a lot to fit in 742 square feet, still it's not enough reason for it to be listed so many times throughout 4 years. Around 15 listings just for sale. We didn't count the listings for release. And is there a larger point I'm trying to make about the market? No, I thought this would just be interesting to bring to your attention and as an excuse to kind of talk about the building a bit further. So I would really shy away from trying to make this about some sort of market crash or anything. It's not that. This is just a extraordinary case of either incompetence or some sort of brilliant intentionality. I'm not sure. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you find this content informative, definitely subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Furthermore, get in touch with me with any buying, selling, and leasing inquiries. Thank you.